how do you then test the products to make sure that it
Test
is...
it on humans.
Halal Travel Podcast.
Assalamualaikum and welcome to another episode of the Halal Travel Podcast. You listen to me, Hazira, and Nurul today. Rana can't make it today, but it's okay. Today we have a very special guest all the way from
Jang, jang, jang.
the East Coast.
Wow, not East Coast Park, right?
Not East Coast Park, no. The East Coast of the US, okay?
I'm really very excited, actually.
Yes, so she is a founder of Flora Noor. It is the only halal skincare brand based in the US. And recently, Jordan Karim over here was the chosen winner to take home away $10,000 in grant funding and a coveted spot within Girl Boss Goods. I think it's a competition. Maybe
Amazing.
before we start, maybe we can share a bit more about that very phenomenal step for your team and
You
your
go,
brand.
girl.
Girl boss.
Thank you. So I was really, really excited. It's actually, in order to win the prize money, we had to pitch. So it was me and a few other brands. Some were beauty, some were clothing. And we all pitched. And whoever had the best pitch by the judges was awarded a place on Girl Boss Goods. And Girl Boss, if you know, is like a huge platform for girl bosses and
Yes.
anyone, like any women in the workforce who just like to follow the account, get advice and, mingle and basically connect with other, amazing women. And I am so happy to be among some of actually my favorite brands as well, like in jewelry, furniture, and more that are all available on Girl Boss Goods. So I'm so grateful, and everybody there is so sweet. And so, yes, you can shop all of our products on Girl Boss Goods.
Wow, great. Alhamdulillah.
All from female entrepreneurs.
Yes. And I also read that the brand is specifically targeted towards vegan, halal, cruelty-free, as well as targeting towards those with melanin-rich skin.
Yes.
Something that you are very excited about.
Yes, of course, because like I'm considered very tan and I do get dark very easily under the sun. So I just wanted to understand what are the differences within like the regular skin or lighter skin tones versus like those melanin rich ones, because like especially here in Singapore, most of the products here tend to cater towards like the Korean
The
skincare.
fairer
Yes,
side.
yeah, definitely. And it's very hard. Like even for makeup itself, it's difficult to find a shade match. So just wondering from your perspective, what are the different changes or like what's the difference between our skin tones,
Yeah. So a lot of people with darker skin complexions or melanin-rich skin, as I like to say, more greatly deal with chronic skin conditions like hyperpigmentation, melasma. And so basically, when we get acne, when we go out into the sun, even if we do use sunscreen or we don't, sometimes we may get dark spots on our face.
Yes.
Our acne scars will be a little bit more noticeable and things like this because of our darker skin complexions and how we absorb the sun and how it maybe just in general just look on our face maybe more noticeable. And so I wanted to make sure that I created products that were formulated to make sure that we're actively treating like hyperpigmentation, dark spots, melasma, etc. Because we do have, as people with darker skin complexions, different concerns or skincare goals than maybe other people who don't. Right? Maybe hyperpigmentation and dark spots is more important for us than it is for other people who don't greatly have that issue. And so I wanted just to make sure that I selfishly addressed my own skincare problems, but others as well who may look like me.
Yeah, definitely. I was just wondering as well, like, is it true that those with melanin-rich skin have higher risk of getting skin cancer?
So those who have melanin-rich skin and darker skin complexions do have a less risk of getting skin cancer than those with lighter complexions. But that doesn't mean that we don't need to use sunscreen and SPF. We absolutely do. It doesn't matter how dark you are. It doesn't matter. You definitely should be using sunscreen. And everyone, especially if you have like a darker skin complexion, you should still use at least like a minimum of like SPF 30.
Maybe you can share a bit more actually, because I think like the idea of sunscreen has been so long back, but more on like when we go to the beach, we don't want to get sunburns, that's why I thought sunscreen would come in, but never really on my face. Only recently, like about maybe 1 year back, that people started like, sunscreen is so important. How could you miss the Maybe you can share a bit more about why exactly is it dangerous for us?
Dangerous as in like the sun is
Yeah.
dangerous, you
Yeah,
mean?
like harmful.
So sunscreen protects against UV rays. There's two different types of sunscreen. There's mineral and there's chemical. Mineral is better for you, but it also has like zinc, which basically mineral can create like a white cast.
Yep.
Whereas chemical is easier to make clearer for darker skin complexions. It's just easier to find chemical sunscreen that matches with your skin complexion. Instead of mineral, but mineral is better for you. So if I recommend any type of sunscreen, it is mineral sunscreen versus chemical sunscreen. But basically the goal is to protect against the UV rays. And when you're using ingredients like vitamin C, AHAs, BHAs, many different types of actives, it's so important that you are using SPF. And any dermatologist will recommend, if they're giving you a facial or any sort of treatment with different sorts of actives that are very sensitive to light and to UV rays, that you are using SPF. And most of the time, they will actually put SPF on you before you even leave out of the dermatologist's office. But basically, let's say you were to get a facial and it was very, very heavy on vitamin C or any other active that is, sensitive to sunlight, etc. You could be doing more harm than good. So there would be no point in you getting the facial if you don't use SPF after, because then what's going to happen is the vitamin C is going to be very, very sensitive to the sun. And then you are going to get increased side effects because you did not wear SPF and give yourself some of that protection. Now, I will say SPF and vitamin C are really good together. They're like skincare best friends. Because vitamin C also protects against free radicals from the sun. And it also is really great at decreasing hyperpigmentation and dark spots. So for anybody who is tanner, maybe have a darker skin complexion, I would definitely recommend vitamin C and, of course, SPF together. But SPF with everything, every day. And even indoors, it's important to use SPF, especially if your home or your office has like large windows where a lot of like sunlight comes in and you can be exposed to a large amount of UV rays. It's so important still, even indoors, to use sunscreen.
I definitely agree with that, because whenever I'm in the office, I always complain to Hazira that my desk is actually beside the window and I will get like a tan line on my arm because of my shirt. Then I'm like, oh no, my face is gonna get like sunburn too on one side of the face. And I'm like, wait.
Yes.
So I actually went to research even further, like those long haul drivers, truck drivers, they also would tend to wear those long sleeve ones, because if not, they would have like the suntan only on one side of their body. So it kind of makes sense. But, Hazira,
Yes.
I also have a confession.
What?
I also did not put sunscreen on my face until recently.
Right. I do feel like it's only recently that sunscreen is a huge thing in the skincare industry. But anyways, let's take a step back and talk about how did launching a halal skincare come to you?
So basically, I used to work for Johnson & Johnson and Allergan as a pharmaceutical consultant for many skincare brands that everybody loves, like Botox, SkinCeuticals, etc. And all of those, products, they work, they're extremely efficacious, but none of them were vegan, cruelty-free, halal, etc. Also, as a previous research chemist, I was aware, even though a lot of people in the US, and I'm sure elsewhere too, think that if a product is vegan, that means that it is halal, and that's not true. So knowing that, I almost had a little guilt recommending and consulting with other brands and people, recommending and consulting for products that I could not even use myself with good conscience as a Muslim. And so I just decided just to go out on my own and create products that everybody can use, that I can feel proud to use and not, feel terrible about it later. And that we can just all use in general, because obviously halal skincare is larger in the East. It's definitely more accessible than it is here. And a lot of people, knowing that they maybe shouldn't use that product, they feel like they have to, like they don't have any other choice. And I just felt like that's insane. And globally, halal beauty is a $74 billion market. So why is nobody in the US tapping into this and providing halal skincare for everyone? Because we do have like halal makeup, we have halal certified nail polish, we have all of these things, but not skincare. And so having already been in the skincare field and kind of being an expert on such, I just decided to go out and do it myself.
And I like how you say, like, just because the product is vegan doesn't mean it's halal. So maybe you can share a bit more about what actually in skincare that makes a product non-halal.
Okay, so a lot of things. So just because a product is vegan doesn't mean that it doesn't contain alcohol, right? So a lot of vegan products still contain different alcohols, and any sort of derivative or ethyl alcohol, any type of ethyl alcohol in a product is not permissible for us to use. And a lot of ingredients that you might not realize are animal derived. For example, squalane is very, very big in skincare. It's definitely like a trend now. People, look for this amazing ingredient that is definitely effective, but it actually is derived from shark liver. And so we are not allowed to use any animal byproduct. It doesn't matter what it is. Even outside of pork, we cannot have any sort of animal byproduct in any skincare product, or it's not permissible for us to use. And so instead of using squalane that's, derived from shark liver, we actually use squalane that's derived from olive oil. Other ingredients like lanolin alcohol, oleic acid, glycerin, which is very, very important. It's, an extremely hydrating ingredient that people look for in skincare. Instead of using glycerin that's derived from animals, we use kosher glycerin, which is kosher, so we're allowed to use it. It's halal, and basically all ingredients that are animal derived. What I do is basically try to find the, halal certified, halal acceptable, permissible version for us to use. But unfortunately, when you see these ingredients in skincare on products, it doesn't say squalane from a shark. It doesn't give you that information. And so many people are using ingredients that are not permissible for us, unfortunately, to use.
As you are talking about this, I'm just having flashbacks of all my skincare. Of all the skincare products, I did not bother to even read, what goes into it. Honestly, I have to admit, all I see is the packaging. If it's nice, okay, I'll get it.
But actually, when you were bringing up all the acids, AHA, BHA, oleic acid, linolein, I had like a phase whereby I was like researching a lot about skincare because I was also concerned like you. I think probably there are certain things in my skincare items that have non-halal. Oops.
Yikes.
But now you know.
Now you
So
know.
something you can look out for.
Even like keratin, which people love keratin for hair, for skin, for nails.
Yeah.
A lot of keratin is derived from goat and sheep. And so this is not permissible for us to use.
So you really don't think about what goes into the product. I mean, like right now I'm at the stage where if TikTok recommends it to me, I will buy it. Without actually, you just have to like, there is always a time when like word of mouth is more powerful than anything else. So I feel like I'm at that stage, but only through this episode, I feel like maybe halal skincare is really the safest way for our way of life, which is like Muslims and everything, yeah.
But Hazira, just so you know, it will be overwhelming because I was overwhelmed at the start. So take it slowly, one step at a time. Maybe you want to change one product
Yeah.
first. So I guess this will segue to your next question, right? What is the most basic, because let's be real, everybody's lazy and we're so busy. What is the most basic things that we need every single day?
I would say a cleanser and a moisturizer. That's what you need every day.
Not even vitamin
Every
C
day.
and
Moisturizer with sunscreen.
Yeah, moisturizer with sunscreen or sunscreen outside of your moisturizer. But of course, a combination like moisturizer with SPF is really awesome. But I would definitely cleanser, moisturizer, SPF. Those are like requirements.
I see. But is it like to maintain your skin or is it to cure? Which part of it?
Both. I mean, it depends, right? Because there's many different types of cleansers, many different types of moisturizers, some that are just to maintain, and then some who are like specifically dressing as a specific concern. But it's definitely important to cleanse your face every day. Some people even double cleanse, but definitely cleanse your face every single day. It's so important to moisturize, even if you have oily skin. So it is a myth if you have oily skin, then you shouldn't moisturize. You definitely should moisturize because even if you have oily skin, you're more susceptible to acne if you're like not moisturizing and hydrating your skin in the best possible way, not just from oils from your face. And then of course, SPF, is very, very important, just to, just protect your skin from cancer, but also because of like UV rays, maybe acids that you're using in your routine, etc.
You know what, talking about oily skin, I feel like I vaguely remember hearing someone say that you are getting oily skin because you are not hydrating enough. Is that true or is that just a myth?
I would say yes, right? Mine.
Wait, she's the expert. Yes, go ahead.
That's my guess. Need to
No,
confirm.
Exactly. That definitely can be true. And you can also not be moisturizing your skin, and your skin is producing more oil because of that. So it's just so important to still moisturize no matter if you have dry or oily skin.
Okay, that's then is it true?
Yeah.
Okay.
This episode is just refreshing my memory about whatever that I've learned.
Chapter 1.
Yes. I mean, like, for me, my skin is oily. So I
Yeah.
thought, like, you don't have to moisturize, don't have to clean your face
Because
and
it's
whatnot.
already oil on it.
Yeah. So, but then I realized that it's because my skin is dehydrated. So my skin would produce extra oil to compensate for the loss of hydration in my skin.
Right,
Correct?
right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's absolutely correct. So a lot of people have oily skin. They think, oh, my skin is so oily already. I don't want to make it more oily and put more moisturizer on. But your skin is possibly, dependent on what's going on, maybe producing more oil because you're not moisturizing your skin. And so it's so important no matter what, just to make sure that you're using moisturizer. And there's different types of moisturizers, right? There's lighter moisturizers, there's heavier moisturizers, there's some that are cream based, gel based. And so maybe if you have oily skin, you should use not as heavy of a moisturizer. Maybe use a gel moisturizer instead of a cream moisturizer. There's so many different options, but definitely no matter what, you should moisturize your skin.
Okay, let's do that.
Any skincare concerns you would like to highlight?
I have 2 acne on my acne scars on my face that I can't seem to, get it off my face. I don't know what's wrong. Maybe you could analyze my face through the webcam.
She doesn't have a microscope, unfortunately.
But anyway, okay, I feel like a lot of people actually suffer or like experience issues with acne scars. And one of the ways that are being taught to us is to actually use lots of vitamin C so that it brightens up your skin tone as a whole. But is that really true, or is it again just a myth?
No, it's definitely true. Vitamin C is really good for brightening. It's really good for acne scars, for dark spots, for hyperpigmentation. I would also recommend ingredients like kojic acid, azelaic acid, There's a lot of options, but definitely it is true that vitamin C is definitely good for acne scars.
I feel like this is becoming a myth or debunk.
I mean, this is the consultation.
This is our personal consultation.
Yeah, but actually, I was wondering, vitamin C is a very unstable compound, right? So, I do know that if you have like a vitamin C serum, you have to throw it away once it becomes like this dark orange or something like that.
Yeah, so there's many different types of vitamin C. Some derivatives are more stable than others. I think the common one that you may be referring to is ascorbic acid, which is more unstable than some of the other derivatives, but it's also the most common, I would say. It's definitely important when you're purchasing vitamin C. The best thing to do is to make sure that it's in a dark amber glass. And also, I would say if you have maybe more sensitive skin, to use a derivative that's like more stable and more gentle than maybe ascorbic acid. And you can like Google search different types of derivatives of vitamin C that may be better for your skin type.
It's all about experimentation, I think.
So back to the business. Do you remember what it was like setting up the brand and like looking for your own packaging, your own your purpose with the business? How did that all come together?
So the most important thing, right, was that I found somebody that could go through the process of, mass producing with me my halal formulations, which in the US is way more difficult than it would probably be anywhere else in the world. And then so for me, I thought it would be much easier to go with a lab that was already, vegan, already cruelty-free. So that way, when we got certified, it was a much easier process because they already are not having any animal byproducts in the lab, etc. And so that process, is a bit difficult just because you really do have to like do your research and really vet out, the labs and people that you want to work with, interview. It's incredibly important. Same with packaging and graphic design, finding people to create your packaging. I even went through 3 different people until I found the person that I now feel comfortable and happy with that is now doing our packaging. And so it's kind of like trial and error, but definitely like I would recommend to any other business owners, don't ever go with the first person that you see because you want to like hurry up and create your brand and do this. Make sure that you're like interviewing, vetting, and finding the right people for you.
Because we want this business to be in the long run, right? We don't want it to be something short and something that we want to regret, I think.
So actually, when you're talking about that entire process of trial and error, probably coming up with like samples and whatnot, how long did it actually take for you from the very beginning of inception, from the idea to actually starting selling? Yeah.
I would say about 4 months. And even now, like we are releasing some like new products. When you're like, testing samples, approving them, all of that takes months of time. It takes months of time. And it doesn't take a year-long process, but it definitely does take months of time, depending on, exactly what you're trying to release. But it's also when you're testing your samples, when you're going through that process, you also want to ask for feedback from others.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of times as like brand owners and founders, you feel like that this is a product, like this is amazing, this is, but you need to make sure that other people feel the same exact way. And so I've learned the hard way, like launching things or thinking that things will be amazing because I feel it is. So it's really good to get basically feedback from everyone. You could even create like a Facebook group, send your product to a ton of people and get their feedback on it, have them test it, have them try it. And then maybe you want to make changes. Maybe, it's just really important just to give yourself time.
I'm curious, how does a brand actually test products or rather test formulas And how do they actually source for all these logistics? I feel like this is not something that we see upfront, as a consumer. So maybe you can share a bit more on that.
Yeah, I mean, basically you just kind of have to do like your research. I mean, in the beginning, I was doing like a lot of like Google research, finding all of these different labs by me, asking, them like, can you do this? Can you create this product that I've made and mass produce it and all of these different things? And then sometimes that doesn't go well. So what I would always recommend is ask somebody that you know and that you trust for a recommendation. So I've gotten like my warehouse that I use now. I was able to find them and use them for like our logistics and our storage and all of that through a recommendation from another
Mm.
founder. And so basically just, like girl boss, right? Like mingle, communicate, connect with others, and then ask them for recommendations for different things.
You wanted to ask also regarding, because like most of the things, skincare products that we do know of is tested on animals. And if the brand is cruelty free, how do you then test the products to make sure that it
Test it on
is?
humans.
Yeah, but like, do you put it like on
Yeah,
someone
no,
or like the skin only or?
yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. So you do test on humans.
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, not on random humans, but
Yeah,
of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
like, you get their permission,
Yeah.
volunteers, people who want to be a part of the process, and then you would test on a willing participant instead of an animal.
An animal who didn't get to say anything. Yeah.
Yeah, because meow doesn't mean anything, right? But do you need to get like
And
different
for
skincare?
us, we're also like Halal certified. So we also have like, an Islamic
Mm-hmm.
organization come in, test all of the products to make sure that they're animal byproducts free, that they're, meet all of the stringent criteria, including no alcohol, no animal byproducts. And also a part of being Halal certified is also the packaging. So a lot of people
Oh,
don't realize like your packaging also has to be conscious of the environment, and so our packaging is sustainable, it's reusable and recyclable, because it's also important, as Muslims, that we're conscious of the environment, and that, we're not taking advantage of it in a
mm-hmm.
negative way, and, basically harming the earth. And so all of that together is actually a part of the certification process. And so they do that testing, on their own.
Oh, that's so amazing from end to end. Uh, but okay, I know this is going to sound dumb, but sometimes people need to understand. Um, when you test on humans, do you then look out for people with different skin concerns to just check whether or not that particular product would suit everybody?
Absolutely. So some brands don't, right? But
Mm-hmm.
we do. We definitely have different groups based on like their skin type, and their skincare goals. And we have like metrics to see if this product did help them reach the skincare goal. This skincare type, this type of skin, it worked better with this product, etc. And so even on our website, you can see we have all of our products that are actually, categorized by skin goal and skin type. Because
Mm.
another important part of our brand is that another focus of ours is chronic skin conditions.
Mm.
So like eczema, hyperpigmentation, psoriasis, etc. This is very, very important to us. And it's actually a personal thing for me because my son has eczema.
Mm.
And so two of our products were actually made for him. And then they were very
Oh.
successful on Amazon. And then so we mass produced them for the masses. Um, but because of this, right, like eczema is a chronic skin condition for a certain skincare type for a certain person. And so all of our products are categorized specifically by that.
What are the two products that you mentioned that are for eczema? Maybe I think a lot of people actually experience eczema more than we actually think.
Yeah.
And like they have to go through a bunch of products just to like again trial and error
Mhm.
on their children or themselves. Maybe what are the two products that you actually have?
The oatmeal and Shea body butter and the Shea sugar scrub. They're basically made for eczema therapy, and they have colloidal oatmeal, which is really, really good for dry, irritated skin and eczema. Previous to creating that product, my son had eczema, and I would be looking everywhere for basically like a butter, a lotion, something that could just calm his
Mm-hmm.
eczema because it was he's a baby. It was frustrating for him. He's like itching. He looks terrible. And as a mom, you're like, I need to fix this.
Yes.
But for a lot of products, the ingredients were troubling me. I did not like the ingredient list. And so I feel like a lot of times, like as consumers, we have to choose between a product that works or a product that has good ingredients, right? Like good ingredients that you feel like safe to use. And so I ended up actually just creating my own product for him in our kitchen.
Oh.
And it worked. It worked. There was like multiple tries that I did to find like the right one for him, and it worked. And then I was like, you know what? Why don't I sell this? Like, why don't I sell it on like Amazon? So I actually ended up creating a lot, right, on Amazon. It became like an Amazon bestseller. And now it's like one of our best-selling products because it truly does work for eczema, and it only has 5 ingredients. So you can feel like safe, like, okay, this is like a clean product, really good ingredient list, not too crazy, just 5, but it still works. And so, yeah, I wanted to make sure that I could have like the best of both worlds for him. As a mom, you want to make sure you can do anything and everything for your kid. And so that was the goal.
What is actually really amazing, because I have a friend who has eczema and she's my age, she's like about 23. And she said it's really frustrating to go back and forth the hospital every single year to visit the dermatologist, to go through a whole what's it called, healing process together. And at the same time, sometimes it doesn't work. It's really frustrating, and it costs money. So it's
even more painful because we are in humid Singapore, so you get really itchy, and oh my gosh, I can't imagine. Because my youngest brother also has like some skin concerns, which is psoriasis, I think. So so he always gets itchy, and he's very sensitive to quite a number of products.
Maybe for psoriasis, what are some of the products that we can look forward to?
Those same exact products you can also use to treat psoriasis. The thing about like eczema, psoriasis, and other chronic skin conditions is they're forever, right? They're not going away. You will continue to have eczema even if you use the product because it's a chronic skin condition. So basically it's to manage and help heal, to basically have a lessened feeling of the side effects from eczema, dry, irritated skin, psoriasis, etc. And so a lot of brands, a lot of products are not focused or targeting chronic skin conditions. And you see a lot of brands are like before and after. This is what I look like before. This is what I look like after. And like you can do that with eczema, but eventually you may still have another like eczema flare up because it's a chronic skin condition. And so the goal is just to manage it as much as possible.
All right. So during the process of creating products, right, I'm sure you have a team to work together with you, and not all of them are Muslims. Was there a time that you had to educate the team on what makes something halal, what's haram, what's halal, that sort of situation?
Yes, I mean, most of like our team, like in the company, is Muslim. But when working like with our lab and our logistics and warehousing and things like that, especially the lab, it's so important that they know like why we are making them use these ingredients, why it's important that they use this instead of this. And so we did actually have to educate everyone there. And of course, we had an Islamic organization who does our halal certification. They had to come in and also educate them as well on, what even halal means. Because a lot of times in the US, I know it's not the case in the rest of the world, but in the US, when people think of halal, like they just think of meat.
Yeah.
Yes.
It is true.
So, so they don't know. They're like, wait, what? Like, but you're not, this is skincare, not meat. And so there is a lot of education that goes along with that. And then even outside of that, we actually have done events like at, Muslim organization festivals and things like this. There's a really huge thing that we have here called the Mass Convention. And basically it's like 30,000 and more Muslims in the US come to Chicago. And basically it's just like a convention of like Muslim scholars, Muslim brands, and basically we just all get together, and even like Muslim like artists and things like this. And there were a lot of young women who, were coming to us there and were like, wow, I didn't even realize that all the products that I were using, I wasn't supposed to use them. I thought that it was halal because it didn't say any animals on the back.
Right, right.
And so we even have to educate like our own Muslim community and our own Muslim consumers on what we can and can't use. And so it's like education all around.
Definitely. And actually, what you mentioned about halal being only for meat, right? That misconception also applies in this
Where
part
we're
of
at,
this part of the world, because Singapore is not a Muslim majority country, and a lot of my Chinese friends or Indian friends, they also believe that it's just meat. So even like Malays themselves, right? We don't really put much thought into it. So education really empowers you to take care of everything.
Correct. And I feel like sometimes people think that skincare, it's okay if it's not halal because like you're only putting it on your body. You're not actually consuming it.
Yeah.
But actually, it has to be around
Yeah.
like
Holistic.
circle of life.
Circle of life. This is like what? Upper Lion King, is it?
No lah, I mean like obviously having a halal ingredient, having the peace of mind that everything that you use is permissible is definitely a privilege, I think. Yeah.
I mean, I personally feel like it's so important, like for your skin, as well as people don't realize, like your skin is also an organ.
Alright.
So it's so important that you're, still, making sure that you're meeting like the requirements of, being halal, being, Muslim. And the thing is, if you take aside, right, like the scientific names of these ingredients, imagine that you're putting, pork, goat, sheep, just like rubbing it all in your face. It sounds so weird, right? So why are we doing that? Like people are really rubbing shark liver
Right.
on their face and not realizing that they're doing it because it doesn't say like shark liver.
Yes.
But when you say it like that, it hits you like, wow, that is definitely not acceptable.
Yes.
Skin-
Now that you put it like that, I'm like, oh, okay, that's true.
I mean, skin is your largest organ, and your body is an amanah, and you're supposed to, take care of it as best
Imagine your pores eating some meat, some goat. Your pores. Okay, so maybe currently, what are your, let's say, 3 best sellers that anyone should get at the moment?
I would say our vitamin C collection, which is our Boost and Brighten cleanser, our vitamin C resurfacing toner, and our Bright Side serum, and also our new Super Glow moisturizer, which we're launching September 17th. So stay tuned for that. But all of those products work holistically together and individually, of course, but they are meant to use together in a skincare regimen to basically treat aging. I like to say healthy aging instead of anti-aging.
Yeah.
It's not gonna age. It's not a bad thing.
All right, we should embrace
say
it.
healthy aging. As well as like hyperpigmentation, dark spots, fine lines, and just overall like brightening of your skin. So that's why we call it the Boost and Brighten cleanser, the vitamin C resurfacing toner, which also has papaya extract and glycolic acid to basically like work to resurface your skin. If you feel like you have like a rough skin texture, that toner is perfect for you. And then we have the Bright Side serum, which has both vitamin C and hyaluronic acid, because a lot of people complain that sometimes when using vitamin C, they find that it can be very drying on their skin. So we've actually combined vitamin C and hyaluronic acid, which is an extremely hydrating ingredient, to make sure that you're still getting the benefits of the vitamin C without drying out your skin.
Is it
Okay, go first.
I just wanted to say, is it that product behind you?
Is it behind? Oh, yeah.
You have to shift it. Yes.
Surfacing toner. Yeah, it's also right here. So this is the toner.
Oh.
This is the cleanser.
That is a
I don't know if you can
good
see it well on
amount.
the camera. This is the cleanser. And they all work together as a regimen. So a lot of customers on our website, basically we offer subscriptions too. So you can
Ooh.
choose many different types of subscriptions based like on your skincare goal and your skincare type. And it will literally get delivered to you every single month to your doorstep. So you don't have to be like confused about what to use with what. We've made that process simpler for you with a routine that just gets delivered to you. Because honestly, like social media, TikTok, Instagram, sometimes I personally feel it can make skincare very confusing for a lot of
Correct.
people.
Definitely.
Yes. Especially when you have zero knowledge on it
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
just trusting someone's opinion. All right. Where do you ship to?
Where can we find
Where
you
can we
again?
find you?
Yeah. What are the different places? Because you are in the
So,
US and we are in Singapore.
so we're available at 13 Loon, at Girl Boss Goods, on Amazon, on our website. And I'm not sure about some of our other platforms, like everywhere they ship to, but I know on our website we do ship internationally. We've shipped to Turkey, Mali, Senegal, Egypt, Dubai, etc. So we ship everywhere internationally on our website. Um, but I think mostly for the platforms like 13 Loon, Girl Boss, um, Beauty Bridge, Verishop. I think those are more so like US based. But I would still definitely, check that out. And we're expanding into other retailers as well. I'm really excited to announce that soon we will also be available on Ulta.com. So
Ooh.
people who like to shop at Ulta Beauty will soon be available at Ulta. And my ultimate goal is to be everywhere
Mm-hmm.
because I want to make like halal certified skincare more accessible to everyone. I want people to be able to walk into a store and be able to buy a product that's like permissible for them to use and not feel like, oh, well, there's nothing here that's halal, so I guess I must use this. I don't want us to have to do that anymore. And so my goal is to really have us as many places as possible.
That's
So I'm gonna
amazing.
ask Nurul's brother to Kirim.
No, I'm gonna buy actually. Perhaps like I'll try like something because I mean still looking for the perfect moisturizer and sunscreen combination because I'm a lazy person. So I'll definitely let you know about my feedback. Definitely very
Yes.
exciting.
Okay, but I have one
Yeah.
last question which it's on my mind, but I forgot to ask just now. Does it matter? Let's say if I were to use a product, but I use it in a humid country compared to a cooler country, does it matter or it's only what matters is just what's it going into your skin?
Yeah, it definitely could matter. Like dependent on your environment, right? Like your skincare could work differently. Maybe you need more of some product, maybe you need less of some product. I think the best thing to do so you get like equal results across the board, no matter what temperature, is that you make sure that your products are stored room temperature, and not like, anywhere that may be like humid, hot. Well, even if you live in a humid, hot place, just make sure it's indoors. I am really bad at this. A lot of times I like to put skincare products in my purse and then
Uh-huh.
I'll leave my purse in my car
Uh-huh.
in the heat. So don't do that. Don't do
Oh
that. Just
no.
leave your products in like, room temperature places, and I think that you should be fine.
Okay, that's something that I keep in mind because I bring my products everywhere
um,
because when we need to touch up and everything.
I see. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I just bring the whole entire bottle.
Yeah, it's so much easier, but I guess now it makes more sense to keep everything at room temperature and maybe just bring like a sample or two, around. Yeah, maybe that would
Decant it
work.
or something maybe.
But products like SPF, right? Like you should reapply that every 2 hours.
Mm-hmm.
I know when I say that, people are like, "What? Every 2 hours I need to put on sunscreen?" Yeah, you actually should put that on like every single 2 hours. And if you live somewhere that may be like more humid, you may be exposed to like more UV rays, etc., you would want to like
Mm-hmm.
apply more often.
That is a concern for me because I have makeup most of the time. So if I were to put sunscreen on, it's gonna wash all of that away, and so all money.
There are like mineral
Well,
like touch up ones.
now there is a lot of different types of sunscreen
Yeah.
now, and I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't say, but we are gonna come out with a
The
sunscreen. It's not
powder.
Bon Chat. I don't actually know if I should tell you guys, but we are going to launch a sunscreen soon that you will be able to put on over your makeup. And it will not ruin your makeup, transfer your makeup. It will be makeup safe.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Actually, I'm very
Very excited.
yeah, and it's amazing how that you have blossomed into even Ulta, because that's such a huge
Brand,
beauty
yes.
retailer and everybody knows it, even those who are not in the US. So, oh my gosh, I'm just excited to see them into our local supermarkets, maybe.
Watsons, The Guardian.
Yeah.
Inshallah. But anyways,
Thank you so much. Inshallah.
I just want to take this opportunity to thank you once again for even spending some time with us to talk about skincare. I think we learned so much from this episode. I hope our audience also learned a lot from this episode. So importantly, vitamin C and
Moisturizer, cleanser, and SPF. Those are the three
SPF.
things. That's the
Three,
most
yeah.
important. Yeah.
okay, three. Three things that you should do. I think that's the biggest takeaway for this episode. But thank you once again to Jordan. We hope that your brand will only grow further in the future and hopefully see in our local stores.
Yes.
But in the meantime, for those of you who are watching, thank you for watching this episode. Go ahead and watch our other episodes if you haven't. But for now, thank you so much. Follow her on Flora and Noor on Instagram. All right, bye
Yes.
everyone.
Thank you so much.
Bye everyone. Thank you.
Bye.
Alright guys, thanks for listening. So we'll see you on the next episode. Don't forget to give us a shout out on anchor.fm/the Halal Travel Podcast. Your voice message could be featured in our next episode.
Yep. And if you have any advertising and collaboration opportunities, contact us at info@halaltrip.com. That's info@halaltrip.com.
Also, don't forget to follow us on our Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at Halaltrip. We're also now on Telegram and TikTok. Until next time, get inspired, go and inspire others.